Well, well, well. Well, well, well. I think we're live. I have no idea. The Facebook merge is becoming a, a fluster. It's a fluster. What's going on, beautiful people? We took yesterday off because it was my birthday. And I probably shouldn't have because today's been a complete fucking mess. And with the bad weather, obviously the internet doesn't work. But let's see how this goes. If it goes. I'm definitely not. I'm not in there. But anyway, let's get to this. Let's get this show popping. Let's see what we got today. Remember, if you're watching, you can't hear the music because YouTube doesn't fucking let us. It's so unfortunate that we can't. But if you want to listen to the music and all the other things that we play, head over to Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and that way you can hear everything that we do on the show. Remember, you can be a part of the live studio audience if you head over to YouTube and comment over there. Yeah, I think it's YouTube. Probably ain't. At this point, I'm just for real like the headache that the show is causing me, and there's not even show day. I'm only on because I took yesterday off. But anyway, let's talk about some things. Let's get the pod recorded and let's have a good show. Let's see if we can have a good show. Because if we can't have a good show, then I don't know. But woosah, woosah. That's all I got. It's just woosah. Welcome back. That's it. Welcome back. Remember, if you can't hear the music, it's because you're watching. If you want to hear the music, head over to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or actually now you can head over to Facebook. Kasabian Lavoe at Facebook. The podcast is over there. Exclusive clips. Facebook is. I talked all that shit and they took care of me. Shout out Facebook. It's okay, so what? Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. That motherfucker goes. That's his thing. It's gotta be a good show. You gotta do the potty kit. It's potty kit to do the hands. Bitch, this is fame, not clout. What that's about, watch your mouth. It's Kasabian. Kasabian Lavoe wine. What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back to the Kasabian Lavoe Show, live from Las Vegas. This is episode 268, I believe. If it ain't 268, it's close to that. I can't even see what the number is right now. My bad. I got mad windows open. I apologize. Welcome back. What's going on, beautiful people? My name is Kasabian Lavoe. I'll be your host behind the microphone with talent on loan from God. Yes, God himself. Now, my childhood fell apart a long time ago. Puerto Ricans have been lied to. Malta is Cuban. Everything. Bacardi's Cuban. And I thought it was just me, but there's a bunch of Puerto Rican words that aren't real words, and I thought it was always a joke. But now we're starting to confirm. We'll get into what I'm talking about. We'll talk about those tornadoes that went down over the weekend. I'm sure everybody has a million questions on what's going on, but we'll briefly touch on that. Adele is not too happy that people are reselling her tickets, but Vegas gets Adele, so that's pretty dope. And goodbye to the Mirage, and welcome back the Hard Rock, and it'll be on the Strip, so this is pretty dope. We have a cafe on the Strip, but a Hard Rock hotel on the Strip. This is gonna be dope, and they're gonna build the giant guitar. We'll get into all that. Who believes that Soulja Boy sold that ugly ass Game Boy for any hundreds of millions of dollars? Okay, good. Nobody. I'm glad everybody's on the same page. It looked like a Game Boy. Everybody has a phone. Nobody wants a fucking Game Boy. Like, what are you doing? That was so strange. Yes, that was definitely strange. Okay, so Tory had an update, and it was weird because the update that Tory was, I guess Tory wants his people to really give all the information that's going on in court because it's definitely one-sided. But we'll talk about that, and this will pretty much be, I guess, the last update for Tory and Meg. After this, it's court, and then we'll see what court does with it. And to wrap up the show, we have a murder story because that's what we do here. We do murder stories. They're fun to listen to and talk about. So the word in Spanish, and I'm sorry if I'm like melancholy, I think that's the word, is raining like a lot, and I've been so frustrated with just been very frustrated with the programs, all the programs. They definitely have given me a headache today. But the word in Spanish, biste, Puerto Ricans say, oh yeah, dame un biste. That's a steak, right? Well, biste is not a real word. Biste is not a word. Puerto Ricans are very ghetto, and we're very resourceful, and the real word is beefsteak. And because we heard beefsteak, we said it the best we could. So it's a biste, un bistec. That's it. Yo, my daughter asks me all the time certain words, and I would do shit like that. Like, she'd be like, yo, how do you say sandwich in Spanish? I was like, I don't know, sandwich. It's un sandwich. Vacuum. It's un vacuum. I know that a vacuum is called a aspiradora or some shit, but it's un vacuum. Got her vacuum. There's a lot of words that Puerto Ricans have just made up because we listen to the English language and we flipped them. But I'm going to tell you this. My whole life fell apart when I found out that Malta Goya and Malta India and all that shit belonged to Cuba. And then they were like, oh, yeah, Bacardi too. And I was like, oh, my God. Bacardi is from Cuba? What the fuck? Like, my whole childhood was gone. All of it. If you were living under a rock, the tornadoes that tore through the Midwest. Listen, the United States is very unique. We get hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes. We have glaciers up in Alaska. We have volcanoes. Literally every single thing that you can imagine happens here. And that's pretty much what happened over the weekend. Unfortunately, it happened at night. There's an investigation going on with the Amazon building collapse with OSHA. They're checking into seeing what's going on. I guess a couple of people were saying that they wanted to leave, and Amazon was saying that they would fire them if they would leave prior to that tornado coming and hitting them. Other people were saying there was no training for a tornado. Like, that's Tornado Alley. Y'all should have some type of resources that are there for folks to like. It's weird to think that you would be in a factory and you don't do like a fire drill, a shelter in place, just everything and anything just in case, especially over there. And that warehouse looked like it was made out of aluminum foil. I don't think it could have took too much. Like, it looked bad. It wasn't a good look at all. It was terrible. It's terrible. Uh, Rest in peace to all those that lost their lives, and our condolences are with their families. It's a terrible time right now. It's definitely difficult to deal with. Excuse me. It's the weather. It's cloudy. It's just difficult to deal with losing a loved one during the holidays, especially like a freak accident like this. This is pretty crazy. It really is crazy. So Vegas gets Adele, and then we get the Hard Rock. But we're saying goodbye to Mirage, and on top of saying goodbye to Mirage, we're gonna get that giant guitar that Hard Rock has built in Florida. So it's exciting that the Strip is going to change, and we're finally getting Hard Rock on the Strip. We've never had Hard Rock on the Strip. Hard Rock was always an off-strip casino. It was the spot. My bad. Something's itching my ankle. It was the off-strip get-together was the Hard Rock. That was a fun spot to be at, and when they got rid of it, it kind of hurt. And Virgin's cool, I guess. I'm really not too sure what they're doing. It ain't really popping off that way, but I mean, it sucks that we're losing Mirage because the aesthetic of that volcano in the front and just the history with the dolphins and the animals. I'm sure a lot of people are gonna. I don't know. I don't think anybody I don't think old Vegas matters anymore, honestly. So everybody's just like, yeah, bring on the new. There's so many new people here. I love talking to the new Vegas people that love to try to tell me what's going on in town. I'm like, wow, thank you for giving me so much information. I did not know that was happening in my town. Thank you so much. Adele's mad that people are reselling her tickets. Like, get the fuck over it. Like, that's none of your business. I mean, the only way you can keep the tickets at the same price without necessarily like getting upset would be NFT. You see, this is when NFTs really become a thing. Like, you just sell like a pass and then don't let people push it or say, hey, I'm an NFT the ticket and here's a cap. Again, that's kind of stupid. It's a free market. It's really none of your business after you sell it. It's like when you sell an album, if somebody sells it for 10 times as much, just get over it. NFT cures a lot of that when it comes to art. But for something like this, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Like, Adele's just making a big deal of nothing, and that's, she can do that. My bad, fiddle fucking with the microphone. So Soulja Boy got this ugly ass Game Boy, right? And it's a touch screen and it's trash. This dude has put out like 4 different Game Boys and none of them have fucking gone anywhere. He said he bought Atari. Atari's like, bro, you ain't bought shit. Biggest capper alive. The dude just bought like a fucking plastic watch in the mall. He got caught by somebody buying some fake watch. So all of a sudden he signed a $140 million deal for a fucking Game Boy. Nobody wants a fucking Game Boy. Like, everybody has phones. Who the fuck wants something with a screen that's this big? Like, my phone got 4 times the size of the screen, makes phone calls, plays games, takes pictures. It does everything. Why would I want a Game Boy? Oh, it plays games. This thing plays games too. Like, I don't know. Soulja Boy lives in his own little world, and that shit is corny. Just don't believe that bullshit. So, let's get into this, Tory Lanez and Meg story. It's getting better. It's getting way better. I'm going to read the article from TMZ, and then I'll tell you how I feel about this. But this information is pretty funny. But I see it like this. Tory was on top of the Escalade, right? He had to stand on the footboard thing. When you open the door and the thing comes out and you got to step on it because he's little. He had to step on that to talk to Meg. And he was like, hey, you ain't going to be bullying me in front of all these motherfucking people. And Meg was like, shut up, little man. Even though he was standing on the thing trying to be tall, she was still looking down on him. She was like, shut up, little man. I'll beat your ass. And then he started shooting at her feet and said, dance, bitch. Bow, bow, bow. Pretty sure it was like a cap gun. Pow, pow, pow. But because he's so little, he was aiming for like her knees and shit. But he just hit the floor. Pow, pow, pow. Meg got hit the ground. Police came, and we know the rest of the story. But if you don't, we'll get into the story from TMZ and we'll recant what happened. TMZ, Tory Lanez shouted, dance, bitch, dance, while firing gunshots at the ground near Meg Thee Stallion's feet. Pow, pow, pow. Subsequently injuring her, at least according to testimony from a detective on the case. Detective Stoger went on to say this happened in the Hollywood Hills around 4:30 a.m. after a party and a dispute between the artists. He went on to describe that Tory was standing on top of the step board of their SUV while Meg was outside of it. And as soon as Tory fired the shot, she immediately felt the pain in her foot, observed blood, fell to the ground, and then crawled to an adjacent driveway of a resident. The crazy shit is no ring cameras. Ring cameras catch everything. Not a fucking ring camera in sight. Not one. Crazy at this in Hidden Hills. Not one ring cam. Anyway, here we go. This isn't good. Oh, I'm doing my show. He also said under oath that Meg told him Tory apologized and begged her not to tell. Yo. He allegedly offered her money to keep her mouth shut because he was on probation. Meg initially explained her injury by claiming that she stepped on broken glass. During the time was like after the George Floyd, after Ahmaud Arbery, and all the things that were going on. So yes, it was a very tense time in the community for a lot of people, and telling the police that there's a gun in the car would have been an issue. So Meg alleged later that she admitted that it was glass because the police were there. She was afraid that they might try and shoot Tory if they knew that there was a gun in the car. A recorded phone call was played that Tory made from jail to a woman who was also with Meg when the incident happened. Tory apologized on the call for something that he did. He was drunk. Tory got pissed in court, yelling out, "How are you going to tell me what I apologize for?" before his attorney told him to calm down. The judge heard enough during Tuesday's hearing to move forward with trial, which is set for January 13th. Tory has gone on the internet and basically said, hey, no, there's more to it, and we're countering the fight like it's a legit fight. Please stop just one-siding this. I don't think anybody cares at this point. It's very unfortunate. I hope that he could figure it out, but as of right now, it ain't looking too good. If he really said dance, bitch, he's out of his fucking mind. The next story that we're going to get into is Elon. Elon Musk is Person of the Year. That's super dope. Shout out to Elon. That dude is definitely changing the world. I'm very, very much excited for Neuralink, and I think I kind of want to get it. But this one's different. This story is going to be about how Tesla is accepting Dogecoin, and my biggest issue with crypto is just so emotional. Not one man should have all that power. When Elon speaks on crypto, any coin, it goes crazy. So I think we need to come up with a better way to to control the volatility. But Elon is Elon, and he doesn't hold his tongue for shit or nobody. So let's get into this story from Complex. Elon Musk is one of the few people who can make people rich in a single tweet. That's a fact. He can do that. On Tuesday, Time's newly crowned Person of the Year tweeted Tesla will be making some merch buyable with Doge to see how it goes, ultimately causing the Doge crypto coin to skyrocket. 33% is a big jump. According to Bloomberg, the announcement brought Doge up to 20 cents before it spiked, and then it went down to 18. That's not bad. Dogecoin was still fairly low, so that's actually a big bump. To 18 cents soon thereafter. This isn't the first time that Elon has impacted the fate of Doge, which was inspired by a Japanese Shiba Inu dog meme back in 2013. If you don't know, Dogecoin was made to make fun of Bitcoin, but it's still here, and it's actually becoming more tradable because it's so small, so the amounts are easier to move around. I still think ETH 2 is going to be the change, but as of right now, Elon is very, very stuck on Doge, which is cool. Like, I just want to see where it goes. When the Tesla giant hosted Saturday Night Live back in May, the currency plummeted nearly 40% after his hosting gig. Forbes initially reported Musk mentioned the coin during his opening monologue and also during the weekend update. Do y'all remember what happened? Like, everybody was like, yo, if Elon mentions Doge, we're gonna hit 50 cents. Y'all remember that crazy wave? And it never happened, and it actually tanked. It just fell the fuck apart. It was a pump and dump. Fundamentally, Bitcoin, this is a quote from Elon. Fundamentally, Bitcoin is not a good substitute for transactional currency, he says. Even though it was created as a silly joke, Dogecoin is better suited for transactions. The total transaction flow that you need with Dogecoin is substantially more than like transactions. Why would you word it that way? Like transactions per day, and it has more potential than Bitcoin. Bitcoin is like mad expensive. So the idea that you take one Bitcoin and do something was always kind of strange. You need a second one. So Bitcoin almost created a partner coin just because of the size. Like Bitcoin is Michael Scott, and then You got ETH and Doge as like Dwight. Dwight is Doge. Dwight is Dogecoin. Dwight's basically, or Dogecoin is basically the assistant to the assistant manager. And then Jim is ETH, and he's just the everyday, day-to-day pictures. And then Mike is Bitcoin. That's exactly how this shit goes. Bitcoin is okay, so it's slightly inflammatory, but the inflation rate is a fixed number as opposed to a percentage. So that means over time the percentage of the inflation actually decreases, which is a good thing because it encourages people to spend rather than hoard it. So the economy works when you spend. There has to be a fine balance of like you having like a reserve and you spending consistently to keep it moving, because money increases in value and doesn't decrease in value. You'll save it because it's going to have more value later. Right now money is decreasing, so it's always best to just spend it. It's not best to hold it. If you hold it right now, it's going to be worth even less longer and longer. Right now is the time for you to go out there and cut great deals and try to spend this fucking cheap ass money, because it ain't going to get no better right now. But with something that actually loses value, you keep on moving it and it keeps things flowing. Money isn't really too hard to understand, but saving it hurts. You have to be in a position where you can actually spend most of it and then save a small percentage and still be straight. We've kind of fallen off of that since the 80s, but that's kind of how it works. So the idea that they want to use this coin because it loses value or it stays, it holds a certain type of value, that's pretty interesting. Are they going to do... No. NFTs and car loans, NFTs and homes... That's coming. Just get ready for all the crazy NFTs, and I'm sure Elon will be the one that's in charge of all of that. And to wrap today's show, it was a quick show, but I really wanted to just get it in. We're going to talk about this guy hired 4 people to kill a couple to get money out of them. Now, the story that this one came out of nowhere. Like, I don't even know where this came from, like, at all. Like, it was a Texas story. This happened over the last year. And anybody that hires 4 Marines or 3 Marines and 1 fucking Israeli killer, you were meant to get away with whatever the fuck it is that you were getting away with. So let's get into this last story. Slim loves these stories, so I always do them for her. It comes from Fox News. A Texas businessman, 2 former U.S. Marines, and a purported former member of the Israeli Defense Force were arrested last week in connection to a murder-for-hire kidnapping plot that involved a Nashville couple and an extortion attempt, federal authorities said. February of 2020, Mod 46 of Austin emailed a woman in whom he had a prior relationship, and made plans to meet her while visiting Nashville to see a relative, the Justice Department said. They were being investigated because of something that happened. We'll get into that in a second. The indictment alleges that the conspiracy began on March 5th, 2020, when Mod withdrew $15,000 from his bank account, and an intelligence report was prepared and given to plead by a relative of Brockway, who worked for an internet-based security company. It's my mouth. It just happens. So this dude basically pays these guys to do like covert surveillance on this couple. I'm smiling because it just blows my mind. He hires them to basically find out what they have. That's where the $15,000 went to. Now, one of the dudes like works for a security company, and this kind of sparked things off. The indictment alleges that on March 12, 2020, Mod wired a transfer of $150,000 from his bank account to a account controlled by Paled. Is it Paled? On the same day, Broadwick and Carey, armed with firearms, confronted Williams and Landway. That was the couple, Williams and Landway, in the parking lot of Williams' apartment complex. Broadway and Carey shot Landway multiple times, killing him and kidnapping Williams. Prosecutors allege that the man allegedly drove away with Land's body and Williams to a construction site in Nashville, where they shot Williams multiple times. The bodies were both left on the site. This is crazy. They run into the family, or to the wife and husband, or boyfriend and girlfriend, snatch them up, throw them in the whip. They kill the dude, throw him in the whip. Don't shoot the lady, put her in the whip, take them to the construction site, off them, and just leave them. Bro, this in 2020. 2020. What? Who the fuck gets away with this shit in 2020? Sometime after March 11, 2020, Mod wire transferred more than $750,000 from his bank account. Sheesh. Pleads as payment to plead Broadway and Carey for the murder and the hiring kidnapper. What do you put in the notes? This is for this is a thank you. Like what? I don't understand what. Like I don't know. I don't know. The FBI and the MMPD orchestrated the arrest of all 4 men on Friday. So the charges of kidnapping resulting in death, carrying and brandishing and discharging a firearm during and in revelation to a crime of violence. Listen, these guys are fucked. They're getting life. Anytime there's kidnapping involved, anytime you kill somebody, blatant as this may be, wide open as this may be, it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing that 2020 you can even do some shit like this. And then why would you do it in the States? Why would you? What's the thought process? Somebody help me understand. That was it though. That's it. Thank you. That was it for today's show. I have no idea what the fuck is going on Facebook, but watch out for the Facebook deal. We have so much going on over there. And DP. Oh, premeditated. Oh, yeah, it's even worse than premeditated because they're going to get the big bitch because I bet you they already got cases. You see, now the chat wants to chat. Hold on. With a case like this, if they did all this shit, they've done it before. So these guys are going to serve some time. There's no death penalty where they're going. I don't think. That's not on the table. It just said all men are facing life in prison. But hey, that was today's show. Make sure to like and subscribe. Head over to klavoe.com. Check out the music. Check out the 270 other podcast episodes. There's videos. There's clips. Go to the TikTok. Subscribe to our TikTok, Kasabian Lavoe, the Instagram, everything. Make sure y'all check out what's going on Facebook. Like I said, you're going to see a lot of Facebook going on. They're working with me. They gave me the bag. That's all I got to say. Facebook gave me the bag. Look, Mom, remember when you told me I should get off the internet and get a real job? Fuck does that mean? My name's Kasabian Lavoe. Live in the moment, don't live in the past. Be safe, stay dangerous. Lavoe loves you. Wah.